And well, today, one of Oba Chandler's children, she claims she's one of his children, was here, one of the 8 children. She says that Oba Chandler has never even held her as a baby, and she wanted to be here, not necessarily to support him, but she wanted to see him die. A handful of those opposed to the death penalty gathered outside Florida State Prison. While these people did not know Oba Chandler personally, one among them on prison grounds says she has a strong connection, one she wishes she didn't.
I've never met him.
But this woman, who would only identify herself as Suzette, claims Chandler is her biological father. We could not confirm her identity, but Chandler's attorney, Bia Harrison, believes she is.
This is very uncomfortable, and I'm not a media seeker, believe me.
Policy does not allow families of the condemned to witness the execution. Suzette says she traveled from out of state to get here. She says she doesn't need to be in the witness room, but she needs to be here.
That is my ability to take this from being a movie, a television show, and making it reality and moving on with my life and knowing that what he did and who he was does not affect me and who I am today and who I'm going to be tomorrow.
Suzette has no doubt about Chandler's guilt. 17 years ago, he was sent to death row, convicted of killing Joe Rogers and her 2 teenage daughters, Michelle and Christy, in 1989. The 3 traveled here from Ohio on vacation, only for their bodies to be found floating in the bay. Chandler was caught 3 years later. Harrison worked more than a decade to save Chandler's life.
No tears, but I feel sadness. That is, he was always courteous to me. He's a human being.
Suzette says she never met Chandler. He left when she was a baby. And even though she personally did not know him, she knows him enough.
Very sick, evil human being.
Some strong words from her. And you know, Brendan, what also struck me, covering the activity outside and talking to the guards, there was such a small handful of protesters.
Right.
Typically, there is a larger group, and perhaps it's the egregious nature of the crime. You know, who knows? But it was interesting.
Yeah, and so many years have elapsed since the crime. It was 22 years ago. He was sent to death row 4 years, about 5 years after that. So much time has elapsed. There are a lot of people that know nothing about this case. I was also struck by the fact that this is still relatively rare. There were 2 this is the second execution this year. There's only 1 or 2, sometimes no executions in a given year in Florida now, though there are almost 400 people on death row. So there is an ongoing examination in this state and in this country as to how fair, how evenly applied, how humane, and whether this is a deterrent to crime and betters society as a practice, that we put people to death for certain crimes. So again, we expect to hear from some prison officials to get some more details as to why this execution was delayed by a few minutes, and also perhaps hear from Hal Rogers, the surviving father and husband of the 3 women who were killed in 1989.